I thought I was getting a video feed from you.
Oh.
It's fucking shit.
Oh, boy. It's gonna be one of those episodes. Alright, now we're live.
Oh yeah, neither one of us talked to Scott, did we?
No, I was going to, and then work got all fucked.
I had totally forgotten that Brian was going to listen a hard maybe.
Yeah, I pretty much told him last week, like, just don't even stress about showing up if you got family stuff.
How are things in California?
Good. Still under this drought. Getting more and more serious.
Oh really? Is you due to the brown flush it down, so yellow let it mellow stage yet?
No, but we're getting close to the point where they might have to start rationing water.
So only odd number of houses can take showers that day.
Yeah, exactly.
That that was a cute picture you posted on Facebook.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, did you get your message from what's his name? Keith Porter.
No.
Super hungry.
No, what's up?
I think we might be getting our hats soon.
Oh, nice.
I was only what, like 2 years ago?
Yeah, I totally forgot about that, man. That'll be an interesting episode.
Yeah. I don't know. The headphones are the only part that's gonna be like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna happen. Alrighty, you
I'll have to switch the little in-ear ones.
yeah, get some earbud action. You got your what you been playing?
Yeah, all of 3 games.
I only have two, so I think this episode is gonna be really short. It's just kind of an uninteresting weekend.
It's kind of an uninteresting week in games.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like it was that same shit over and over again. It's just like, fuck, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah. Alright.
We need something.
Did I share show notes with you?
Yes, you did, sir.
Word. Alright, you ready to kick this thing off?
Cover girl! Yeah.
Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your exhausted host, Boston, and over there is Knobs.
What's up?
The Hannah has some family-related things, some sort of child's birthday party, I believe. So, good luck to him. Godspeed.
I'm sure he'd much rather be here.
Yeah. And I haven't mentioned it in a while, but don't forget that any of our opinions on the show are respective of ours and not respective of our employees. So, employers or employees.
Employees.
I got a dude working for me. He doesn't agree with
blanket
me.
coverage on that.
He just does what I ask him to do. Nay,
yeah.
tell him to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Minions.
If you're listening to this episode, get back to work. Stop listening to podcasts.
Can you believe it's episode 330 already?
Yeah, we're almost at episode 330. 333. Make a wish.
Oh, dude, can you believe the forums have been around for like 5 years now?
Yeah.
It's February 2008. That's insane.
Wow. Well, that's 6 years now then.
At
some point this week. Year. Month. Whatever. So tired. Alright, well, before we mess up more reminiscing math, what have you been playing this past week?
Alright, well, we always had our token Left 4 Dead night. We didn't play any Gears this week, which I found kind of disappointing. I kind of look forward to that a lot.
Yeah.
Just because that game's just fun. Monday night, kind of had one of those weird nights where just it was really, really quiet. We only had 5 people show.
It's a real chill night.
It was a real chill night, and then Donnie was just purely exhausted, so he tapped out. So it was just 4 of us. So instead of taking on the wonders of the internet, I decided to have a brilliant idea. Because initially with Donnie there, I was going to go, hey, why don't we just go 4-on-1? And they're like, well, who's going to be the one? Well, that's going to be me, right? It's my idea.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, Donnie bashed out and had to go to sleep. Then we proceeded to shoot up the game. We played Dead Air.
That sounds right.
I like how we've been playing this game for 6 years straight, and I still question the
I
title.
have no idea what the map names are.
But anyway, yeah, we decided to go 3v1, which I was the one, and it started off. You recognize that one that starts and the planes go the DC-20 or whatever it is going overhead.
Yeah.
So you go through the greenhouse, go up the front. I get out across there. Of course, there's going to be a tank in that area, but meanwhile, my minions behind me are just sucking each other off and just being idiots. So I'm hopping back and forth over the ledge, and eventually we all get caught. We're dead. I was like, oh, great. Same thing, kind of stopped in the same spot with the tank, except Scott kind of got squirted through a little bit. And probably my favorite parkour I've ever done with the tank, I did this week. Because you go through the way, you get on that rooftop, and you climb up the top of it.
Oh yeah.
Well, on that first rooftop where that little wooden bridge is, I jumped off the side, climbed up bypassed all the snaking around, came straight up. Scott jumps down. There I am with the tank, just batting him away. So that worked out famously, and I got a good laugh out of it. But anyway, first round, I'm behind. I don't remember what happened in the second round too much, because I think we all got caught at about the same point. Oh, another tank. Another early tank before you hit to the crane. The one where you come out and my favorite pouncing spot off the top of the crane that's miles above you.
That's the good spot.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to get up to, but man, is it worth it when you land it. It's disappointing when you miss. So I got up there, got over the fence, got up to the top. I get up around the corner and I get charged by somebody, and at the same time, my 3 survivors, the comp players, got boomed down below, and no one came upstairs. But I already breached the tank threshold. I'm like, all right, great. So then I'll get battered around on the whatchamacallit, on the stairwell. So fairly to say, the game is pretty tight. I should have been writing this stuff down while we were playing, because it was at this point I think the spread might be 50 or 60 points their advantage at this point.
It's close. Also, I'm mesmerized by whatever your dog is doing, going to town on himself back there.
Boomer, stop eating your foot.
What?
I try to cut your nails, but you won't let me. All right. Anyway, good boy. Sit, Ubu. So anyway, so we get to the third one where you go through the baggage claim and everything and whatnot. So we get through this area, and I'm just like, F it. I'm going full go boogie at this point. So they get out. No, wait. They were survivors? Yeah, they were survivors first. They were in the lead. So I just purely inducing chaos at this point. Wait, I don't remember. It doesn't matter who was first. Anyway, so this is the spot where the game really opened up on us. So I remember my round. It was pretty much hard fought the whole way. My survivors did an awesome job keeping me clear, so I was able to pick off people, and plus they're laser focus shots too. So it's really tough to sneak up on the PC players, which ended up being a huge advantage for me. But I think the biggest advantage of playing with the computer players is they keep the zombies off of you, which is the most important thing in that game.
Yeah, you hear that, team? Cough,
you
cough.
Get clear shots.
Nice.
So I actually ended up making it to the extendo bridge with all 4 survivors.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was even shocked.
Record-setting run.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time 2 people made it, let alone all 4.
Yeah.
So their run comes up. I mean, at this point, I'd broken the score wide open. and I think they made it to the top of the duty free store. Two of them did. So I think I took out their PC player relatively early, and then and had them have a very hard fought way. And it's funny because we're so used to playing these levels that a lot of us don't really remember where to go once we get the point where we usually die.
Yeah.
So they're going through the baggage claim and all the conveyor belts and stuff. Like, which way do we go? Which way do we go? So it was a good time on that. I think I'm missing a level in there. I know I finished 2 out of the 5 levels.
Yeah.
With all 4.
That's really impressive.
Oh God, I forgot the parking garage. I made it through the parking garage.
Jeez.
And we're sitting there thinking, like, we can't remember the last time we saw the parking garage on that.
I forgot that was in there.
Yeah, because there's the part where you have the first stop where you have to set up the blow up the bridge thing. That's where I broke the game open.
Yeah.
Because I finished that and the next one, and I think the final score had 1,000 points spread on it.
Oh.
But I do have to admit, actually having the PC players was or the NPC players was actually a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
Plus, my spawn time was really quick, and it seemed like I was doubling up on the exact the worst type of special infected for them. Like, you'd be 2 hunters or 2 smokers at the same time.
Oh, man.
It wasn't like the
full smorgasbord.
Well, it's not like you were getting a mob of boomers or anything. But yeah, that was fantastic. Well, for me, I enjoyed it. They're pretty demoralized. I feel bad for I think it was Tomsy, Nintendork, and Urgent Fury.
Well, next week someone can take the 1 spot, the 1v100.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll have a full. Like, I think last night was just, or Monday night was just a misnomer. Like, it just was odd that it just seemed very, very, very dead.
But now you have something to do when you only have a handful of peeps.
Yeah, we can always have fun. We can always draw a straw. Well, we can't really do that. Pick a number.
Yeah.
But no, we had it was a fun time. We had some laughs. It sounded frustrating on the other side as well. I was kind of grinning to myself, trying not to rub it in a little
not
bit.
To be like,
but, yeah. But I did, like, the biggest thing I did notice was that it's not that I wasn't fighting zombies, I wasn't fighting zombies behind me the entire time.
Right.
Which leads us to Friday night. We decided to play some St. Valentine's Day Left 4 Dead. I think we had 6 people. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it was Scott, Tomsy, Ian, Donnie, and myself. So we had a good 3v3. And so we decided to play a map that we have never really played much of, was Coldstream.
Oh, yeah, that brand new one.
Yeah, that map is, I think it's a user-generated map,
yeah,
too.
I believe so.
And, yeah, that map is just ruthless.
Really?
Oh, man. It gets you in through all these canyons and stuff where you're pretty much boxed in the entire time. And there's always danger coming at the top. Especially that one spot where it spawns the tank. And the tank pretty much starts an avalanche. And the tank has a boulder to bat around.
Great.
Yeah.
At least it sounds like a very different map.
Yeah. One thing that was really funny is they have that one spot where you got to walk over the fallen tree over, like, the 2 pit things, where Donnie decided to heal right in the middle of it.
Smart.
Yeah, smart. So we get over, and there's that one spot where you have to open up the sewer that you run down. You got that real long pipe to run through. Except somebody was down on it, and I think it was Ian yelling, "Just go, man, just go. We can't go because you're on the thing we have to open."
Yeah, just...
But yeah, we had a ride. It was really probably one of the moments I really remember from that night was as you get up on a bridge at some point, and the survivors are working their way down the stairs, and as I'm, like, in the spawning thing, and I get to that screen where they can't see you, where you're in a spawn menu, And then all of a sudden, I see 3 infected climb up the spire on the other side, like where they're never going to be again. I'm like, it was kind of hilarious, just kind of watching this go down, go up, like almost like a counterweight. But that was a good time. I think we played that, and well, we played a couple maps that night. I don't remember what the other maps were, but I think we mixed up the teams. I think just 2 people changed sides. I think it was Moon and I. I think we split that night, but
yeah,
that might be it. I don't remember exactly. It was only 2 nights ago. Why should I? Oh, and prior to playing on Friday night, we downloaded the free game this month on Xbox Live, which is World of Tanks.
Oh yeah, actually that's free to play.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, is it free?
Yeah, permanently. The free game right now is Toy Soldiers something something something. I don't like those games, so I don't remember.
Something Dark Side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is World of Tanks?
Wow, that is a lot of loading.
Oh really?
Like, it's a 70 meg download that takes all of 30 seconds, and then you're literally stuck there for 40 minutes.
You're just streaming the rest of it.
Packs.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're streaming. You can't do anything. You just sit there and watch a loading screen. So
fascinating.
The advantages of having it playing through Xbox One, I could put on a movie and watch
there you go.
Just pop in sidebar, boom,
Yeah.
snap, snap Blu-ray. Let's go. But so not knowing anything really about this game, so we played through the tutorial. And it's kind of like, hey, I can kind of get this. But your first tank is literally a shoebox with a turret on it.
Great.
Like it looks like a World War I tank that was just never quite proof of concept.
It's a match car tank.
Yeah, it's dumb. Hills are your nemesis in this game.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Because not only do you not have the power to really climb any hills, even though you're in a tank, but you can't shoot down. Like you on a slope, you're just shooting things way off into the sky. You're like, oh, that's right.
That makes sense. Bombing 3 towns over.
But we ended up playing that probably for a couple hours. It's disappointing that you only get 3 people in a platoon, that you can't really super party up. Like with 8 people, like I don't understand why that isn't a standard that you party up with 8 just to roll out for anything.
Yeah.
On a large scale game like that. But we just started playing with different styles of tanks and stuff, and it was I was having fun with it. Everyone else seemed to be frustrated because we were playing with people that either had bought stuff to upgrade everything or were just very much better at this game than we were.
Yeah, had played enough of it already.
Yeah. I mean, it's tank controls. I mean, it's not that difficult.
You are literally driving a tank. It has to be tank controls.
I mean, there's no way to get around that. And, trying to, like, everyone's asking questions like, well, what does this mean? What does this mean? Like, dude, we've all been playing this the same amount of time.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there trying to figure it out the whole time and not really knowing what we were doing. I kind of fell in love with the artillery tank. Even though I don't think I killed a single thing with it.
You're having a great time, though.
Oh, I was having a riot. Well, it's... Well, my problem is it gives you a different vantage of the battlefield. So you find your hiding spot, find some bushes or a tree or behind a building or something.
Just this giant tank behind a skinny tree.
I did that.
They'll never see me back here. Lie.
I'm just gonna park here and hopefully no one notices or looks at me from this angle.
I'm sitting behind a bush. Everyone be quiet.
So. But, usually with the tank, like, you have this, and you have your iron scope, where it actually gives you, like, your visual with a little tank thing, or it's in the center, right, left, or side. Or you click on the right stick, and it gives you more of a scoped view, which is really cool. But with the artillery tank, it actually gives you, like, this aerial. And you have your shot line, which is either red or green if your shot's obstructed or not, and it has, like, this reticle that closes down to let you know how accurate you're going to be.
That sounds kind of...
The thing's inaccurate as hell, and I think it's just because it literally looks like a hay wagon with a barrel, is what that tank looked like.
So it's very much you just started playing this game. This is the level
Oh
1
yeah.
ship.
Oh yeah. It looked like it might as well had a slingshot. I might as well been flinging infested cows with it.
Trebuchet would have worked better.
Yes, much better. Oh, it's a good word.
I know.
So I'm sitting there like I'm just having a riot and like trying to. I don't understand why I don't have a shot. So I undo zoom and somehow I had traveled all the way across the board into the middle of the battlefield because I'm trying to aim and I'm using 2 sticks when I should only be using the 1 stick that controls my turret. And so I'm frustrated. I'm like, why am I in the middle of a grape field? I was behind a bush. All the vines and stuff, but I don't think I hit a single thing with it. It doesn't matter how far back I was. Someone always found me. But just the trying to figure out how to use that thing effectively, I think is something I could really get behind it. Because you could punch stuff a long way with it. It actually felt like you were shooting an artillery shell. It was just the sound design on that game is outstanding.
Made by a bunch of peeps that really love tanks.
Yeah, it might as well be the people that love World of Trains or something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
That's the next MMO.
But I think that game has potential. I just wish the party system was a little bit better to play, with your friends a little bit.
I'm surprised that it's been out on PC for so long, numbers of years, that I'm surprised that the party system on 360 is kind of crummy.
Yeah, it was that was the only real disappointing part. You think even though a couple of us ended up on other teams at some point, but I mean the tanks look great. I mean I was really surprised the game looked as well as it did for an Xbox 360 game.
Yeah,
I can't believe I'm saying that now, but
yeah, I mean that's so last gen.
Yeah, but no, it could that game has a lot of potential to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And there is way too much stuff, like all these tiers of tanks and add-ons, and you got to research it before you can purchase it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it teases you the entire time that hey, if you were a gold member, you would have earned this much XP, you would have got this much extra stuff, but you don't. You just this. Like, dude,
that's rough.
Yeah.
Do you think you're gonna stick with it?
I don't know. If they're down to play it, I'll play it. But I don't think it's something I'll be sinking any serious amount of my own time on.
Yeah, you wouldn't hop in there solo. Let me find a couple peeps. Just find some randos.
No, even though we did get I think all of us got invited to random clans at some point while we were playing this game. The clan base for World of Tanks.
Yeah.
It was like Die Hard Gamers or something, like whatever, dude.
Or
yeah.
Die Hard Tanksters.
Whatever. But yeah, so I mean that game had it's got promise. I just think just some minor tweaks could be a really fun game to play.
Yeah.
And that it's really simmy and not arcadey. I think that might be the part where it's going to lose a lot of people.
Ah, right.
And then last night I got a code to play Titanfall.
Ooh. Now that the NDA has lifted.
Oh, okay. I can see that game being a very, very strong front runner to replacing Monday Night Game Night.
Nice.
That game is amazing.
So you're playing on the Xbox One, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm playing that on the one. So it's like a 40 gig download.
Oh man.
So it took every ounce of my bandwidth for 40 minutes, like unhindered.
Yeah.
Like I literally shut everything, unplugged everything that was connected to the internet. Made sure my DirecTV receiver was unplugged too, just in
pulling
case.
Everything out of the wall.
Yeah, just in case. Hardline that thing. Just run an extra cable to my modem. Just to get it done faster. But it did take a little bit of time. I think I would like at least a half an hour, 40 minutes, as long as it took to get us into a game of World of Tanks.
Which is still pretty great because it's huge.
Yes, it's huge. The tutorial is really, really good. It really makes sure you know kind of what everything is capable of, and it makes you go through like everything in a nice progression.
Yeah.
obviously running, jumping. There's a double jump in it. The wall run works.
Amazing.
I mean, not just works, but it you know what? It moves and plays like the game I hoped Brink was going to be.
Oh, nice.
With as far as the wall run, double jump, wall run, double jump, and just the pure mobility of your pilot is amazing. Like everything's reachable.
Yeah.
If there's a building, you can get on top of it. You just got to figure it out. And watching other players jump around the world is awesome. It's something that I like. I don't think I've ever really experienced anything like it. The Titans they're not too overpowering, which I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, you sort of think that when you hear it. It's like tiny little dudes and then these giant things. It's like, well, how am I going to take those out?
It's okay. I'm gonna say it's not like jumping into a Shogo mech.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like jumping into the Pat LeBar size mech.
Right.
Like it's nice. It's a good change of side, and they are vulnerable if you go after them correctly. Probably my favorite thing in this game is rodeoing a Titan. Just jumping on the back of it, opening up this little thing, and just shooting this little spot to take down its shield, so
Nice.
everyone else can just do the damage to it.
See, that's kind of cool. That's what I was hoping that would come out of Titanfall, where it's like, all right, somebody has hopped into one of these things. It's going to take 2 or 3 of us to kind of synchronize our efforts to either take it down or to start making a dent in it.
Well, it's not so much that, because like you would think that the Titan would be more akin to a tank landing in the game, where all your focus ends up being on that.
Right.
But at the same time, both sides are calling in Titans. There's not just one Titan on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get to the point where we're all trying to like, all right, we're all going to hop in the Titans and do some damage.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 or 4 of these things rolling around, and then there's another 2 or 3 on the other side.
Oh man!
And just running through these cityscapes, and they did a great job as far as scale. That they're not too big, and they're not immobile.
Yeah.
They're not like a tank.
Right.
Like it's really tough to describe. Granted, getting in one is disorienting. The way it loads up the screen, because it's all partitioned out, like as the heads-up display. It's like this slides in this way, this slides up, and this slides in another direction. You're like, oh, what?
Oh, my brain.
Yeah, like every time I'm like, I
Talk
can't
to me, Jarvis.
I can't process that at this point.
Yeah.
Just because this term exists now is the reason why I love this game. All right, I'm tightening up next. Like, it's just I'm trying to put into words how gorgeous this game really looks. Like one of the maps, like you're going in there and there's like a battle going on. There's drop ships falling constantly that's got grunts in them. Mm-hmm. They're just like the NPC battle stuff going on. We saw a guy get shot in the leg, and one of the other NPCs grabbed him and tried to pull him off into cover.
Jeez.
Like I'm like, I can't. That's amazing.
I can't even fathom this.
Like I remember we were Bulgurk and I were running around, like we were both like parkouring our way across this board, and all of a sudden we got way deep on the other side of the map, and all of a sudden one of these drop ships landed right in front of us. And we're like, whoa, oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like one of the levels, like there's 2 levels. There's one in a city, and there's one kind of in like a ruined, more rural environment where there's like mountains and hills and stuff. Mm-hmm. But as I'm like, dude, and going into the maps is even cooler. On that one that's a little more rural, like you're literally jumping out of a drop ship. Jeez. Like it's like you just run and jump down. It's like, all right, this is I can't see this ever getting old. It's too much fun. But you sit down, you look up to the sky, and all of a sudden you see like the bunch of these giant warships start warping into the skyline. You're just like, wow.
Man.
This everything about it was just wow.
Yeah.
Um, there was I know I'm missing stuff in it, but it's just the way the Titans move. They're nimble but still clumsy looking to run around in.
Right. Sort of like a
Um,
little chunky.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like you're actually in a piece of machinery.
Yeah.
It actually, and even the movement while you're in the first person view of it still feels the same way.
Hmm.
Did a really good job capturing that. The sound design is awesome. Um, the arsenal is really fun. It's very simplistic at this point, and I don't think they're going to add any weapons to the game. Like you have an assault rifle, SMG, shotgun, smart pistol, regular pistol, machine pistol, rocket launchers. Like your heavy weapons are only designed to really take out Titans.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just running around in that world. It just feels fantastic.
Yeah.
It's everything about it is fun.
Man.
Like I just remember triangle jumping my way up in between a couple buildings and just wall running and just with the biggest grin on my face. Like this is everything I hoped it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like it feels so different than any other shooter I've been playing recently.
And I'm glad that at this point in the beta that it's communicating the type of game it is already. You know, this game, it still isn't done yet, but hey, here we are. Here's how fun it is.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All the little challenges like rotoing I don't know if that's really a word, but
Rodeoing?
to rodeo, yeah,
Oh.
to rodeo a Titan for X number of kilometers. Other really cool thing is when you actually you can hop in and out of your Titan. You're not just stuck in it until it dies.
Oh, nice.
Where you eject in it and you shoot way above the battlefield. And you see all the chaos going on. You just kind of float down and try and find a spot to where you can go, where you can go to next and kind of plan out what area you're going to run to. But when you eject out of it, because sometimes you got to kill a little hanger on you might have. But when you get back into it, you can actually turn and have the AI control the Titan for you.
Oh.
Like you can have it follow or defend, I think are the two commands if I remember right. But if you want to get back into it, you go up to it, hit X, and the Titan literally grabs you and throws you inside.
Oh, jeez.
Like, you just see this big mitt just whoop.
Man.
It's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. I recommend everyone try it. I think they might be opening up the beta. I think they said something on Twitter last night about it that the beta was going to be open for everybody because they want to stress test it.
Yeah, and I think they're
But
going to open it up to PC here pretty soon too.
It's madness. Like it's the exact type of chaos you want from a game like that.
Yeah.
And the areas you don't feel confined in, even though the relatively, I'm not going to say they're small. I think they're just right. They're the right size for the fight you want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And all the buildings are open too. You can roll into an old. I think I ran into a nudie bookstore at some point. Not that there was anything going on in it, but it had the pink triple X's because that's whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was like you just go inside the building. Most of the roofs are blown out, so you just kind of jump up into the top and get up to a different vantage point. Apartment buildings you're rolling in. The middle is like a big chasm, so like people jumping across the other levels. It's really tough to put into words how crazy the stuff that's going on in the game.
Wonder Weasel in chat says it's opened up today. It's in the demo section of the store, so go try it for yourself. And Toxic Joker says it's open for PC tomorrow as an open beta. So probably when this episode comes out, you can get it on both. Try it on out.
Absolutely, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and I can totally see us playing a lot of that game.
I'm gonna have to give that a shot.
The only thing I wish is that it would take that premise of the Titans and open it up to a super multiplayer game, like in the vein of Mag.
Yeah.
To have like that type of scale to it and have that many people on screen just going nuts.
Well, we have something to look forward to for Titanfall 2.
Yeah, that would be the only wish that I would have for this game at this point because it plays exactly how you wanted it to.
Yeah.
And I can't understate enough how or overstate enough how amazing the mobility of your player is.
Yeah.
There's something I don't think I've ever really experienced in a first person shooter.
Man, I'll
Like the
definitely have to give that a
parkour stuff.
shot.
The parkour stuff is every reason why I want to continue playing this game.
Yeah.
Just running around the world is fun.
Man. All right. Anything else you played?
Nope, that was it for me.
Only had time to play a little bit of 2 games this week. I played as much as humanly possible as I could of Bravely Default. Really just kind of playing as much of that as I can at any time. I made it through a really cool... I'm on Chapter 2 now, so I made it through the prologue and then all of Chapter 1, which ended really, really cool. Definitely not spoiling it for anyone. But, as campy and as simple as the story has been so far, I'm actually starting to get really curious about where it's going to go. Because the game is basically, hey, the 4 crystals are dying, let's go save them, yay, Final Fantasy. But there seems like there's enough kind of, except for the villains, which are all very campy in a way that I'm really enjoying. What's underneath seems interesting. It seems like I kind of get the feeling that something is going to happen with someone around me. I don't want to guess just in case there's a spoiler, and I kind of don't want to look around at anything either just in case someone's like, oh yeah, that person totally double crosses you in chapter 20. Whom I don't really want to know, but
I guess the guy with the slick back hair and the pointy nose.
yeah, he's probably he's a good, he's got eyeliner and he's always cackling. It's weird.
Yeah.
Seems trustworthy though. His name is Snape.
that never bodes well for a character.
Yeah. But I feel like there's something a little bit more to the story than just basic, oh, another crystal died, let's go save it, yay! There seems to be something else. And what I really enjoy the most about it so far has been that the boss battles are serious. Like, normal enemy encounters, every once in a while you'll run into a new area, and it's difficult enough, but man, the boss battles, especially the optional ones, are just murderous, because every time you get a new side quest in every area, typically each side quest will give you a new job. So you always want to hit those as quickly as you possibly can. And one of them, it's split off into 2, and I got the job for the hunter, which seems kind of interesting. And then I cannot possibly beat the boss for the summoner. She is just murdering me. Most of my characters have 800 to 1,000 health. She'll do a move that hits 600 to 700 to all 4 party members, and then summons 2 enemies that hit 300 apiece. So
that just doesn't sound fair.
Well, the cool thing about it, and the thing I really like about it, is I can liken it a lot to Lost Odyssey, where it's sort of like, alright, this boss battle is serious, and the first time I get into it, I am probably not going to win this, but after maybe the second time, or if I'm doing really poorly, maybe the third time, you sort of get the idea of, okay, well, alright, I need to focus on, a lot of defense, and I need to make sure that my characters are really fast. So, alright, let me put these 2 people in this job, and then this person in this one. Alright, that got a little bit better. Okay, let me go try and, alright, maybe I need this person to do this magic, and then when trying to learn the patterns where, alright, the enemy's going to do this, so then I'm going to have to guard for the next turn. It's that same boss battle puzzle thing that Lost Odyssey did really well, that I really love in good JRPGs, where it's like, you're not going to go into the boss battle and then just heal yourself every turn and just kind of mash your way through it. If you're not prepared, or if you're not paying attention to the signs and the patterns and everything, you're just going to get totally worked. And I love it. I think that's great.
Where the game teaches you how to beat it.
Yeah, and if you're being dumb about it, and if you're just kind of going in there and just mashing A the entire, just holding A down, yay, I'll probably win this, the game's going to punish you. And not in a mean
Yeah.
way, it's just going to say, hey, maybe every once in a while you want to defend, or maybe you want to heal your party. That sounds like a good idea, right? So I think I've played about 20 hours so far, just sort of grabbing an hour or two here and there in bed. I really like it. It's a really, really solid JRPG, and it's one of those JRPGs that I think 20 hours in, I can kind of recommend to people that may be interested in a JRPG or played a couple and kind of like them and want something a little bit more difficult, or want to play something that will last a long time and they just want to put on the easy difficulty, or whatever. But I'm really hoping that it keeps this same quality throughout the entire gameplay, because if it does, then it's going to turn out to be one of my favorite JRPGs, and I'm really, really hoping it does. And the only other game I played is I started Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13.
I really thought you were going to say another playthrough of Diablo 3.
No, I actually haven't touched that in a while. But I haven't had the time to eat some comfort food. What I was kind of a little disappointed in was that the beginning of the game is exactly the demo. I usually Final Fantasy demos kind of pluck stuff from throughout the entire game. Like, here's this
vertical slice.
Well, no, not really, because it will take like this dungeon here, but it doesn't have the right enemies, and you level up way faster, and it's got a boss from the end of the game. And they just sort of take all this random stuff, throw it in, shake it up, and pull a couple things out. The demo was exactly the very beginning of the game, which is fine. I could kind of get through the tutorial very quickly. It seems... I still really like the battle system, which I want to say before I say the game seems really dumb in a way that I think I'll really enjoy. It can't... Every game in the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy cannot stop itself from making up stupid, crazy, complicated words. Like Final Fantasy 13, the first one had the famous fal'C and l'C, which I still don't know what the difference is between the two, nor do I really care. Final Fantasy 13-2 had all this crazy temporal, crazy business. And then this one is this whole... So the whole premise behind the game is the world is going to end in 13 days because God is going to wake up and he's going to take a whole bunch of souls off to another planet. And your job as Lightning is to save as many souls as you can so God can say, all right, everyone, let's start going, and then destroy that old world. But God's name is like this Bunavildze or something. It's like 13 characters, has a Z in it, and it starts with like a Bunavild. I can't. And thankfully, and it's weird because you typically don't get a lot of religious anything in games, mostly. As much as the Japanese are fascinated with world religions. So either
Referential?
No, they're referring to this, mystical creature as either this Bunavelde or whatever, or just flat out saying God. Where it's like, yeah, God had this plan for me, and he's totally going to do this, so this is my job. And I was just like, this is weird. This is unexpected for games. But what I was kind of happy about was, after the tutorial was done and they as standard with a Square Enix RPG, they sort of puke out all this exposition at the beginning. They kind of dump you in this town, and there's and I'm right in the middle of it, but the game starts with basically Lightning being a detective in this town and saying, and that you have 6 days left at the point where it gives you free reign, and the clock is ticking down actively, which I don't know what I'm going to do about. But they say that there have been 3 women murdered that look exactly like lightning, and this sort of terrorist group in the town is saying, well, not only is lightning next, but we're going to kill everybody else that serves this function in this church in this town. And the game turns you loose and says, all right, figure out who did it. And just you're running around town gathering clues and talking to people and trying to figure stuff out, which I kind of wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be a standard, Final Fantasy 13 style, run down this hallway, fight some enemies. Yay, there's a boss. Go somewhere else. Hooray.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting right off the bat, saying, well, you guys complained about the other two games being a little too linear. Well, now Lightning is the great detective. Go figure it out.
Yeah, but I'm sure everyone's complaining about it.
Probably, but I don't care anymore. I'm over the internet lately. Whatever. Toxic Joker in chat says, how would you rank the Final Fantasy 13s, 13, 13-2, and Lightning Returns? I haven't played nearly enough of Lightning Returns to judge, but I'm going to bet that it's better than the first one. And I liked 2 way more than the first one, enough to platinum it. But I can see this one being a little bit more down my alley, in my wheelhouse, whatever other similar phrases there are, because of the job system, and because of the standard. It has, you can do 3 of those jobs at once during battle, and what I was surprised about when the game started off was you can customize each one of those jobs. So it's not, this is this job and then here are the things you do. It's, you can pick this job and here's its strengths. So try and give yourself spells or attacks or items or equipment that kind of strengthen that job's sort of base attributes already. Because I thought it was going to be like, now I get a black mage and I can cast fire and lightning and ice. But it's basically, here's a black mage costume. What do you want to equip? What sort of passive skills do you want? And then what spells do you want to use? Because that's totally up to you. Or none if you want to be crazy and not make the black mage useful. But you totally can make it, slap on a shield and make it a brawler. You wouldn't. But I'm kind of surprised that they allowed that much customization on each one of those jobs. So
you can almost break down every character the way you want it.
Yeah, and it's kind of neat because it seems like there's a ton of those costumes. And I think once I get a little bit further, I'll get to the in-game shop where I should have costumes waiting. I bought the strategy guide. So I have costumes waiting from that. I had purchased the Tomb Raider costume because that just sounds amazing. So it's basically Lightning dresses up as Lara Croft's outfit from the latest Tomb Raider game. And they're like, she comes with a sword and a shield, and it looks exactly like... And it was like $1.99. So that's dumb enough for $2. Sure, why not? It seems like there's a lot of that stuff in the game, so not only is it kind of a wink and a nod to classic Final Fantasy fans, but it also seems like they're having fun with it like they did with 13.2, where near the end of 13.2's life, they were just saying, well, here's a costume, you can dress up as Commander Shepard. Whatever. Here's this thing, you can dress up as whomever. So that's the kind of dumb fun that I can get behind. So I only played, I think, maybe an hour and a half might be pushing it. So just kind of beginning to get my feet wet and learning how to control and jump and whatnot in that game. But it seems like the story is super overwrought. I would expect nothing less out of Final Fantasy 13. And it seems dumb and confusing, and I have a feeling that I'll really enjoy it. So hopefully it lives up to my apparently low expectations. But that's all I've been playing, so let's take a break. And I'm going to eat some tagalongs here.
Some tagalongs?
Yeah. I just love Girl Scout cookies, man. Can't help myself.
I haven't had whatchamacallit. I haven't had Girl Scout cookies in so long.
Oh, they're so good. How's everyone doing in chat, if Twitch is working?
Yeah, I posted one thing and I haven't seen anything pop up since.
Bummer.
That seems about par for the course, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ugh. Oh my god, I forgot to talk about that.
The Dead Rising DLC?
Yeah, I started playing it. I just kind of I was so tired and I just wasn't paying attention to anything.
Well, we can save it for next week.
On hell. Yeah, another episode. It's weird because this one seems to be before the previous one, which was episode 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm ready to start whenever you are.
Alright.
And then we'll just move right into the the emails and tweets. We don't have too many this week.
Okay. Oh.
Good times. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good. Just trying to finish up this episode.
Hi. The decor is so nice.
Yeah. Yay. Alrighty.
Alright, you ready?
Yep.
Alright. Ready in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. We got releases for the week of February 17th, 2014. Descent is on Steam.
Bring your anti-nausea pills.
Yeah. That, I always thought that was called The Descent.
I think it's just Descent. I'll look it up.
Yeah. I haven't played that game in a long time.
Oh yeah, it's just just Descent. It's normally $7, but the first couple days it's only $3.50.
I'm kind of scared to play it.
Oh man, that game looks super rough.
Yeah,
oh, man.
I bet.
Oh man.
Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare for the XBO.
Very excited to see what that turns out to be, because I'm hoping it's standard classic PopCap dumb fun.
Yeah, I hope so, because that's what they need to keep doing and not try to be great. Earth Defense Force 2025 for PlayStation 3 and 360.
I really hope this one is good, unlike the Insect Arma.
Yeah, Insect Armageddon, yeah.
Yeah, that one was... It's the same, it's the same thing we were talking about with Peggle 2, where it's still Peggle, but it's not... The heart of it is missing, and that Insect whatever, it just... Yeah, it checked all the checkboxes, but it just didn't... I don't know. It
just wasn't endearing.
There. Yeah. I mean, when you played Earth Defense Force, what was it, 2015,
yeah,
whatever that one was, it was so cheaply made and so recycled and just so B-movie that you couldn't help but love it.
Yeah, it's kind of just it had the heart of effort.
Yeah.
Like the people actually really tried.
Yeah.
It just makes that game awesome.
They really loved the game they were making. They just had like $1,000, and that's all they could make.
Strider for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, XBO, 360, and PC.
I would really like to pre-order this. I just can't find it anywhere.
I can't find it. I can't find the demo anywhere.
Yeah, it's supposedly still coming out, but I don't even think it's on Steam yet. I want to buy this game because it's a Metroidvania-ish Yeah.
Strider game.
Yeah, Strider game, which
Shing, 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 shing.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It looks like it's on Steam now for $15. That seems okay.
Seems alright.
Maybe I'll just buy it there.
Well, sure.
Why
you
not?
win.
Yeah, you win, Steam. You got there first.
Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry. Wouldn't it be Freedom's Cry?
No.
But that's for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 and PC.
So that's the AC4 DLC, the one with that one main character who I can't remember his name. They're releasing that as standalone, so you don't have to have AC4 anymore, which you should, because AC4 is really good.
Yeah, still kind of, I don't know. I still feel burned by Revelations that I won't touch it.
Yeah.
Like, I've had it in my hand, I'm like, no, I know what you do.
Yeah, I know what you do to me.
I know where this road is.
I won't hurt myself again.
Once bit, twice shy.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Tropical
Whoops.
Freeze for the Wii U.
Not Conky Kong? I was very tired when I wrote this. If I had a Wii U, I think I'd pick this one up day one. This game looks fun.
It's what Donkey Kong Country should be.
Yep.
It should be just a fun, dumb game. Hawken for Steam.
Go get it. I think it's free. I don't know. If not, it's cheap.
It is. I beta one a long time.
It's still in beta.
I kind of... Is it still in beta?
Yeah, it's early access on Steam. $30 on Steam. You get Hawken, and then it says a massive bundle of mechs and other goodies. So you get the Nemesis bundle for free. You get... Oh, man. It looks like 9 mechs, a bunch of chassis, 700 Meteor credits, and 6,410 Hawken credits. Couldn't just round that up?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a bunch of cool stuff. All right.
Yeah, I just think they might be dragging their feet too long on the testing on that game.
But I get the feeling that it's less a beta now and just, hey, now it's free to play.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
Beta / early access / whatever, just play it.
/ let's trick you into giving me $30.
Yeah.
And Rayman Legends for the PlayStation 4 and XBO.
I forgot I had that pre-order for PS4, so I'm very much looking forward to playing that.
Yeah, there that game comes to your door.
Cannot wait.
And nothing came out in 2004. How about that?
Alas. And unfortunately, Lords of Shadow 2 is not coming out this week like I thought it was. That's coming out next week. So already have it pre-ordered on Steam now that finally the Steam pre-order came up. So super, super pumped. For those of you that are looking to purchase it, I've heard that you should not play the demo because it is the opening semi-boring part of the game itself. Sort of like the demo of the first game where it was the opening boring part of the first game. So I'm just going to hold off on that.
I don't know. I'm so itching for that game. I'm just...
So close.
I don't know how... It's so close I can taste it. I almost want to play through Lords of Shadow 1 again.
There you go. Alright, let's move on to news stories. Nintendo had their February Nintendo Direct. This one wasn't terribly exciting, but there's a little bit of exciting here. I've sort of chopped out the more boring parts of the games I just don't care about, honestly. Mario Golf has a single-player RPG mode called Castle Club. Comes out May 2nd. I might have to pick that one up then. If they have this cool single-player business. I kind of like those Mario Golf games, and for them to have some sort of progression to it sounds pretty cool. I can get behind that.
You know, it's funny because I think almost every Tiger Woods game has RPG elements into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're trying to build up your skills to be a better golfer.
Yep. Another new Ace Attorney game is in development. The series creator is coming back to the games here and gonna make I guess it's Ace Attorney 6. He said it's going to be a pretty different game and take the game in a different direction. So not entirely sure what that means, but I get the impression from those that have finished this latest Ace Attorney game that it's kind of needed because they kind of finished up a very large storyline. So, sounds like that's kind of welcome. Inazuma 11 is out on the 3DS eShop now. This is the 3DS remake of the original DS game that for some reason we never got over here, even though it's one of anime, comic, video game, level 5 series over in Japan. I downloaded it and started playing it. Got about 10 minutes in, and it's very much a kid's game at the opening. But it's a build a soccer team JRPG, so sounds weird enough to work, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. We've been duped before.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, I don't what. All right, I kind of like.
This is actually pretty genius. Yeah. All right. NES Remix 2 launches April 25th. Has minigames based on Metroid, Kid Icarus, and others. Kind of curious to see if they make this one good. The general opinion from the first NES Remix was, yeah, it's interesting, but it's not at all what I wanted. Because basically, people want, hey, I'm playing through a level of Super Mario Bros. 1 as Link. Like, oh, I'm playing Link's, Legend of Zelda 2 as Samus. Yeah, like doing more of the mashup and less of, you have 10 seconds, you're in a 3D version of Balloon, whatever, and yay, now you're done. There's 300
Yay,
of
Mario
those.
Pilot Wings.
Yeah, stuff like that, where it's like, that's not that fun.
It's fun to look at for like a second. You're like, oh, ha.
Yeah, and it's fun, like, the idea is kind of fun, but not the actual execution. Game Boy Advance games come to the Virtual Console for 3DS this spring, starting with Metroid Fusion, which is great, go buy it. Mario and Luigi, which I want to play, I'm going to go buy it. And Mario Advance 3, which I think is Super Mario World? I don't remember.
What? I don't remember that one at all.
The numbering on those games the Mario Advance games is really weird. Let me look it up here really quick. That's Yoshi's Island. Yeah. So, you want to play that. That's pretty okay. Yeah, I'm glad that they're finally doing that, because my 3DS is loaded up with a bunch of Game Boy Advance Virtual Console games, because I bought one of those Ambassador fat 3DSs and then transferred it over to my 3DS XL, and it works really well. And there's a lot of really great Game Boy Advance games. So, hopefully they actually put some out and not pull a Nintendo. New footage of X was shown. That's Monolith Soft's seeming sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles. The only release date they have is 2014 in Japan. So we're going to be waiting a good long time.
A long while, yeah.
Hopefully what we won't be waiting for a long time is Bayonetta 2. Showed more footage. Still looks really crazy. Still looks really good. Coming later this year is all that Sega was saying. So really happy that game is still coming out.
It's been kind of in the dark for a while.
Yeah, it sounds like they announced it a little too early. So, which unsurprising, if you were Nintendo, you'd say, like, yes, look at these hardcore games we have, like Bayonetta 2, exclusive. So, I don't really blame them, but maybe it wasn't as far along as we thought. And the only other news story we have, because it was kind of a quiet week, is Gearbox says they're not making Borderlands 3 quite yet.
At least they're thinking about it.
There's a really interesting interview over at IGN, and I pulled two quotes out of here that I thought was really good. Gearbox head Randy Pitchford says, quote, "When you think of what Borderlands 3 should be, it should be massive. It should be bigger and better than Borderlands 2. It should carry forward the story. It's probably crazy multi-platform depending on timing. It would have to be a next-gen game and a current-gen game if it was coming out any time in the reasonably near future." End quote. So, at least they're kind of coming out front saying, like, yeah, Borderlands 2 is good, but it needs to be even better than that, and it needs to be even bigger than that. So whatever we did before, we're not willing to rest on our laurels for this one. His second quote here is, quote, "We love Borderlands and we know customers do too. So we'll be doing more, we will be doing more in Borderlands. But the thing that, when you think of what Borderlands 3 should be, no, we're not developing that right now. We don't know what that is yet. We can imagine what it must achieve, but we don't know what it is yet. I'm not going to F around with you like Valve does with Half-Life 3. Which, zing. Look, we know what we want, and we know it should exist, but we don't know what it is yet. We're doing things in Borderlands that we'll announce soon that are good, and I think people would be really excited about if you love the franchise." End quote. I kind of respect them for that, saying like, yeah, look, we're not working on it yet. They probably need a break. They're releasing the last piece of DLC for Borderlands 2 here very shortly. The what's his face versus the Son of Cromrax is coming out.
Yeah.
In like a week or two. They need a break. Like, they're making 4 other games at the moment, if I remember correctly. And I think everyone needs a little bit of a break from Borderlands. Borderlands 1 was really good. Borderlands 2 was really good. Let's capture that same sort of thing where it's like, yeah, it's about time for Borderlands 3. Yep. We've had a couple years. Yeah, now it's time.
But I think that's, personally, I think it's a great idea because it's going to give them time to build momentum back up and really, because remember when they first dropped that dubstep trailer for Borderlands 2, at that point we were like, yeah, I kind of missed that game, and it just hit at the right perfect time because I think it was 2 years after Borderlands 1.
Something like that. And not only was it the right time, it was the right... It was Borderlands... bless you. It was Borderlands coming back. Where it's like, all right, it has Claptrap. It's a really dumb joke. It's really... And then they just showed you this amazing-looking game that's like, you know what? Yeah, that's Borderlands 2. Yep, sure. And you're like, yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, and by the time that game comes out, you'd have already done anything you wanted to do with the previous one.
Exactly. So
it's not your annual style property that you need to get it out every year.
Yeah, don't put out Borderlands 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope, for me, I hope that they wait like 2 to 3 years and they come out with Borderlands 3 that is this multi-planet thing that they have sort of always been, sniffing around the idea of, but not an MMO, because I don't think any of us want that. So
no,
we'll see.
I don't think so. I think they just need to take the time to think of I don't know how they're going to top a villain like Handsome Jack.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they have the right people there writing the games, and I think they have the right people there making the games, and they're making fantastic stuff out of Borderlands, but I think they have a real challenge. I mean, I think they had the same challenge that Valve had when they were going into Portal 2.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, how are you going to make a better game than that? BioShock 2, which I like BioShock 2 a little bit better than BioShock 1. But there's a very thing where it's like, well, you got to come with something that's really, really strong to eclipse the previous game. So
yeah.
But if I trust Gearbox to do anything right, I trust them to make a good Borderlands game. So, and unfortunately, that's almost it. All right, let's move into tweets here. Twitter username Stenner Masterson sends us a bunch of questions over here. Number one is, what are some of your favorite boss battles from this gen? I'm assuming he's talking about 7th gen. Probably one of my favorite ones is the final boss battle from Bayonetta. Where...
Oh, yeah, that was good.
If anyone hasn't played it, minor spoiler alerts, because it's not going to make much sense anyway. You are basically fighting this gigantic angel in, I think, heaven, and then suplexing her through planets.
Yes.
And it's just, to Bayonetta's strength, it makes a lot of sense, and it's also kind of the dumbest.
It's the only way. It's the only style of boss battle that game could have possibly have had.
Yeah.
It's just way over the top in the best ways that we love possible. Um, Man, favorite boss battles. Uh,
Uh,
I have to go back to Lords of Shadow
mm-hmm.
as granted the Titan battles were cool, but the it seemed like every boss battle in that game felt like it had some reverence in moving forward.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't seem like stop gaps. Like, oh, it's time for a boss.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like there was a purpose behind everything you did.
One of my other favorites was that first boss battle of Lost Odyssey. Since we were talking about it, that
Oh,
like bird thing, where this
the
game just
Griffin.
yeah that game just put its heel to your neck and said, "You're going to figure this out, or you're not going to get to disc 2. Sort
Yeah,
it out."
yeah, that one was really good. Oh man, there were a couple boss battles in that game that were really fun.
Yeah, really good.
Uh,
Like the really solid JRPG puzzle bosses.
yeah, or it never felt like you failed because you weren't prepared for the fight. It didn't feel
Yeah.
like the game just utterly took advantage of you.
Yeah, game was never like, well, I guess you gotta go grind, huh? It's like, no, you're just stop being dumb.
I really enjoyed some of the boss battles in Syndicate as for first person. They were a little different
Hmm.
with as far as the hacking the different tiers of it. I remember one guy was shooting missiles at you. You could hack the missiles and shoot them back at him.
Yeah.
Just the pure franticness of that fight was just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there were so many of them though. I
Uh,
mean, so many boss battles that were just
there was one boss battle in Vanquish I really liked. When you're fighting, it's like a giant cannon or something. There's like this circular thing with a bunch of cannons on it.
oh yeah, the one that was in the middle of the room that just kept
Yeah, I
spinning.
kind of liked
Yeah.
that for some reason. I don't know. I don't think I could put my finger on exactly what I liked about it. It's just overall incredibly fun.
I just remember using a lot of ammo in that fight.
Yeah.
Like I was spending most of the time running around trying to find whatever I could to finish it.
Um,
Oh yeah.
Another one for me recently is the final boss battle for Zelda: Link Between Worlds. I'm definitely not going to spoil it because it's still too recent, but it used so much of the stuff you had already learned in the game, and then put it on its head a little bit. So you're sort of like, well, what do I do here? And then you figure it out, and you're like, oh, all right, clever, cool.
The Asura's Wrath DLC.
Oh yeah,
Probably the best boss battle I think I've ever
you
experienced.
could just say Asura's Wrath from chapter 1 to the end.
Yeah, I mean that. Well, technically that game was one giant boss battle.
Yeah.
But that and the one with the guy from the demo.
Hmm.
Actually, you know what? Every boss in that game was outstanding.
Yeah. Man.
I mean, at one point you get punched through the moon,
Yeah. God, that
not
game.
off the moon, through the moon.
Man. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other ones that were really interesting. I liked the boss battles from Metal Gear Solid 4 because I felt like they were referential enough without being the same exact boss battles. I liked those.
Mm.
Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having trouble thinking anything better than Asura's Wrath.
Yeah. All right, next question. How would you like to see physical and virtual collector's editions in this next generation? Um, I think for
No.
well, I think for the most part, most physical collector's editions are okay. I would, I will get back on my soapbox saying if I buy the collector's edition of a game, have it contain all of the retailer exclusive DLC. I'm spending all my money for a reason. Um, for me, the same thing for virtual collector's editions. It would be kind of great if they didn't really exist, but I don't know if that's realistic. But if you're gonna buy a virtual collector's edition, make sure the cost of it actually contains enough value, because you're not getting an art book, you're not getting a steel case or some stupid figure. You're only getting, gigabytes worth of stuff on a hard drive. Make it worth that amount of money.
My problem with virtual, collector's editions is just they just shouldn't exist.
Or have it just be the game plus the season pass for a discounted price.
Well, yeah, I still think virtual and downloadable games should be cheaper than their real life counterparts.
Well, yeah, but that's not a battle we're gonna win anytime soon.
I know. It's just frustrating because like I was looking at games because I like on that urge to play something, and I'm looking at it's like I'm not paying $60 for Lego Marvels for a downloadable game. Yeah. Sorry.
When you can probably already find it in the bargain bin.
Right.
Yeah.
And same thing, I still feel a little burned by Gears 3 was when I spent the $130 that the season and pass wasn't included in on that.
Yeah.
And then all the extra skins and stuff. I was like, what did I buy?
Yeah, what am I getting except for this stupid statue that I didn't want in the first place?
Yeah.
That's the sort of stuff that really bothers me. Like if you get a collector's edition, I feel like it should include the season pass nowadays. Especially when you look at something like Forza 5 for a $60 game and then a $70 season pass. What? First off, what?
That's insane.
And then second off, the collector's edition doesn't even include any of that. It contains others, blah blah blah, whatever. But come on, it's getting dumb. Question 3: which Kickstarters have you backed and are still waiting for? Waiting for Massive Chalice, which is that Double Fine SRPG, which is moving along nicely, and that game that the guys who made Knights of Pen and Paper, they're making that cool Sentai game, which I think is almost done. But that's it. I think everything else has been delivered.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on the Goon movie.
Yeah. I backed that, but I'm not... I don't think that's a thing. I think that's not going to happen.
I feel like they just stole $20.
Probably. I guess we can count Hex, that trading card game, in there, because I can't log into my account. So maybe that counts. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I've really slowed down on the Kickstarter stuff because I feel like nowadays, I didn't back that Yusumi Matsuno game. I didn't back Mighty Number 9 because I feel like there's very little in it for me as for a game that I know is going to get backed already. And a lot of the stuff where it's like spend $100 and you get a different color character. If it was a game that really needed that money, I'd probably go ahead and do that. But for a lot of games that I'm interested in and that I want to play anyway, are they're asking for $100,000 and they're getting $13 million. They don't need my $100. I need my $100. Yeah. So I will spend the $15 to $20 when it comes out, but nothing. It's going to be very, very rare if I pick something up that early.
It's tough to find out which of those battles you're willing to support too.
Mm-hmm. For me,
if you hop in it right away and you throw your $100 in, and next thing you know it's got $20 million, you're like, well, I didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I could have bought 2 games for that, because I backed Massive Chalice because I didn't think it was going to get backed because it's Double Fine, Brad Muir making a Final Fantasy Tactics style game. I really didn't think that was going to get backed. It got backed pretty healthily, but it didn't seem like a shoo-in. Like, hey, remember the guy that made Mega Man? He's making another one, and it's called something different. That one, of course, got a bajillion dollars. So
it's Man Mega this time.
Yeah, exactly. Question number 4: if you can choose any kind of animal, which will you have in your RPG party besides a dog?
Oh man, it took mine.
Yeah.
An ocelot.
I would want a talking hawk.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
just
good.
Go for the eyes.
I just pictured the eagle from the pistachio commercial.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll take that one.
you know what? A bear. You can't lose with a bear.
That's true. You always have your tank. It's a good choice.
Just a bear with one scar over the eye. Maybe it's blind in that eye,
Yeah, it's
and
got
it
like a
has
milky
hat,
eye.
and it
Yeah,
has like a trucker hat.
great. This it's all turning up Millhouse. Sean C writes on Twitter. He sends a couple of questions here. Number one, what 16-bit era game would you guys like to see remade if given a chance? I would choose Mega Man. He says. I of course throw Children and Earl in here because it doesn't really count because I say it all the time. I'm trying to think. I feel like a lot of games that came out on the Genesis have gotten a lot less love than stuff that came out on the Super NES. So I'm trying to think of games, and I'm not going to be like Sonic 2, right? Like whatever. You can play Sonic 2 on a toaster at this point. Who cares? I'm trying to think of games that were kind of hidden gems. Something like Comic Zone. You know, like make it. If you remade Comic Zone, you could make each page in a different style.
Yeah.
Make it something really neat instead of now it has a filter over it. Yay.
Oh man, I mean the games that I loved. I'd love to see a remake or an updated version of Space Harrier.
Oh yeah.
Um, just because that arcade game looks so cool, and I thought we were gonna get it for the Dreamcast, and we never did.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Space Harrier, and I love the old side-scrolling Shinobi games.
Oh yeah. I'd like to see a remake of the first ActRaiser. I think that would do really well today, where it's SimCity plus a side-scrolling beat-em-up / sort of RPG thing. I think that mashup of genres could do really well today.
Any side-scroller beat 'em up. I mean, they saw what they just put a nice coat of paint on Final Fight, and it was amazing to play again.
Yep. Man, Magic Sword was so good.
Oh, I love that game.
Man.
Oh man, there's another one too that I really really love.
I feel like there's something right on the tip of my tongue that I can't think of.
I don't know because I mean back then like I loved NHL hockey games like the NHL '94 and up, or '93 and up,
Mm-hmm.
NHLPA hockey '93.
Yeah.
Correct. And then they just kept trying to do too much with it.
Yeah.
Same thing with played a lot of golf. A lot of golf. They've already got Spider-Mans.
Yeah, they've been doing okay on those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
Toe
know.
Jam and Earl, basically. Question.
No, I'd like to see them remake Spider-Man Maximum Carnage because
Oh,
that game
was
was
a good one.
amazing.
Yeah. Question number 2. Have you guys seen the South Park Stick of Truth gameplay trailer? If so, does it excite you at all for the game?
That's as exciting as it went gold this week.
Yeah. I actually haven't been watching anything on that because it's so close to release that I'm just waiting for reviews to say whether or not it's an Obsidian game. I don't care if people are saying it's an Obsidian game and I hate them so it's bad.
Yeah.
I just want to know, did Obsidian make another game? Because if so, I will like it. And then I'll purchase it and I'll buy it on PC. So
Yeah, I'm excited to try it.
it
I mean,
seems
every once in
interesting.
a while, a South Park game is outstanding.
Yeah. Hopefully this is one of them.
Yeah.
And question number 3, one final question, non-gaming related. Going to Taco Bell, what do you guys normally order, looking to branch out for something new? The greatest secret of Taco Bell is the cheesy gordita crunch.
That's a fantastic. It's Crunchwrap Supreme is always pretty clutch.
Yep. And I like their we were just talking about this at work the other day.
The chili cheese burrito is always outstanding.
Oh, that one's good.
That one you have to ask for.
Yeah. Same with the cheesy gordita crunch may not be on the menu anymore, but they'll make it. I'm trying to remember one of these burritos I really like. It's not the crunch wrap burrito, I don't think. There's that one Yeah, the grilled stuffed burrito. I like those because they're just, it's like a baby.
Well, yeah, because it's just. I think that the trick is the toasted burrito.
Mm-hmm.
The top of it makes that way better than a regular burrito.
And there's that one, what's that one burrito that has the, like the Fritos or whatever in it? Like the cheesy crunch burrito or something like beefy crunch burrito
I
or
don't.
something.
Yeah, I don't think those are on the menu anymore.
Ah, curses. Those are really good. If they're ever
God, I haven't been to a Taco Bell in a long time.
it's been a
I still,
couple years for me.
I still remember Curtis and I going to KFC all the time for the chicken zinger sandwich with
Oh
the
man,
zinger sauce.
that stuff was good. Yeah,
It was
you
spicy.
can get pretty much anything at Taco Bell, and it's probably going to be pretty good. And eat
Yeah.
like a king for your $20. All right, let's move on to emails here. We only have a couple. Jeff writes in and says, "This is not exactly a normal question, but I wanted to say thank you for getting me addicted to Fairway Solitaire. You're welcome."
Yeah, thanks for that. I didn't mention that I played that this week because I am almost done with the game.
Man. It sounds like a boring game, but it's actually pretty fun. It kind of reminds me of the card game Speed Split, except one player. So you got me hooked on Luminous, Pinball Hall of Fame, and now Fairway Solitaire, so I'd like to return the favor. Check out the game Rise of the Blobs, Zookeeper Battle, and Triple Town, which I have played Triple Town, and it's really good. Rise of the Blobs is one of those fast-paced puzzle games and strangely addictive. Zookeeper is basically a two-player Bejeweled battle where you get a minute or so to clear as much blocks as possible. Some are for defense, some are for attack, and you battle a random person to see who wins. Triple Town is a bit more relaxed like Fairway Solitaire, but it's hard to explain, but I think you guys will like them. These are all on iOS and Android and free, but you can pay to unlock, except for Zookeeper, which is a bit annoying. You get to play every 15 minutes or something. I would really recommend Triple Town. It is a little hard to explain, but basically you get a small board, and you're basically... it's kind of a match 3 game, but you're building a town out of what you're matching. So you're eventually, taking plants to put together to shrubs, to trees, to this stuff, and you're putting together communities and houses and fighting off bears for some reason. I don't know why.
There's always bears.
Aren't there always? That one's actually really good, and it's very good about it. It's very good about its freeness because it only has, I think, one map. But if you pay like $2, you get, I think, 3 more maps and 1 other mode. But you kind of don't have to because the base game that's in there is still really fun. So, recommending that one. Next email is from Dave, aka RoboPig. It says, "Hey guys, with the Titanfall beta being the buzz this weekend, I was wondering what your thoughts are on console exclusives. Are you going to see an increase in them this generation? Do you think developers would rather not go that route, since it's basically cutting in half the number of potential gamers they could reach? Is there any benefit to PS4 owners not getting access to Titanfall or Xbox owners not getting to play The Last of Us? Has a developer ever produced exclusives for both sides of the fence?" I think if you were to ask most developers, I think they would want their game to be available on pretty much everything possible so people could play their game. I think if you talk to most publishers, I think they want the most money. So if Microsoft is ready to cough up tens of millions for Titanfall to be a console exclusive, they probably did the math and said, well, if we put it on PS4, we may make this much money over this much time. But if we accept this console exclusive, which I don't know for sure, but you always hear that there's some money changing hands, then they have that guaranteed cash in pocket at that point, instead of saying, well, we'll roll the dice and see if we can make, let's say, 30 million. And spend the time developing it on PS4.
That's exactly what it is. It's do you want your money up front or do you want to wait and see if it happens?
Yep. Bird in the hand and
all
that.
Yep. It's taking guaranteed cash.
Yeah. And I'm sure when you're talking about a console exclusive, I'm sure it's not an insignificant amount of money. I thought it was interesting, RoboPig bringing up the point of The Last of Us. I don't think that was a console exclusive in that Sony probably threw them a wad of cash and said, it's only going to be on PS3, right, guys? I think it's Naughty Dog saying, we only make games for the PS3, because that's kind of what we do. But I think with Titanfall, it was probably, hey, it's for the Xbox One, right, guys? And they said, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, Naughty Dog is pretty loyal to the PlayStation
they're kind
brand.
of second party at this point, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think console exclusives always bum me out because even though you always have your preference, where I would rather play something on the PS or the 360 versus the PS3, or on the PS4 versus the Xbox One. So if something comes out as an exclusive on the other platform, that's fine because I have the means to play it. But for me, it's a preference thing. But also for a lot of people, it's them not being able to play those games. Like, there are a lot of people that never got to play the Gears trilogy as much as I love them because they didn't have a 360. They had a PS3. And that kind of sucks. You know, those are great.
Yeah.
Those are great games that I would like more people to play, but they couldn't. So that's kind of the bummer. Is I want more people to play more great games, and that they can't. So for whatever reason, a game is exclusive.
Well, I don't know, because we're all children. We want to talk crap about it, meaningless things.
Yeah. Moving on to our last email here. It's a very long one from Chris. He says, "Hey, TVGP, Angel Eye here. Did I make it in time? Just barely.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I think I'll help you pad the runtime of the podcast, which actually, surprisingly, we don't need that too much help with this week. I have some year-end stuff I'd like to talk about, disappointments, awards, and a few small but great moments. We all run into disappointing games, but maybe they're just bad or we don't get them, etc. I have 2 games that were pervious to me liking them. Hitman Absolution and BioShock Infinite. Hitman, while I finished it, I thought it went out of its way to be vulgar. Like, it thought if every character was unlikable, I would forget that I'm playing a professional killer. On top of, I think you see that a lot with games and media like that, where it's like, well, you know, the anti-hero is pretty bad, but all the villains are just really bad. You know, someone just like cracking orphaned puppies in half. It's like, well, you have to kill him. I mean, who is doing to these puppies?
He doesn't get another chance.
Yeah. On top of poor writing, the open-world level design of the previous Hitman games was removed, with a linear model in its place that didn't work as well for the game, in my opinion. Part of the fun was restarting to try for a better score, which is what I heard a lot about the previous Hitman games, where it's like, you get your briefing, and then go into the level, and figure it out. If you want to play it fast and loose, you can. If you want to plan everything down to the smallest minutia, you can. And apparently this one was a little too far removed from that. BioShock. Oh, did I want to like it? The story was interesting generally. People liked or loved the game, but the part that got in my way was the gameplay. I like first-person shooters in general, and the idea of shooting lightning or crows out of your hand is awesome, but I wanted to be told a story, and the game wanted me to commit genocide. I have a belief that the FPS style isn't really conducive to telling a story, and the story to murder rate wasn't working for me. What games disappointed you last year, and did you roll through or put them down? I think that BioShock 1 is really interesting, because I think that's something that the gaming industry has had a lot of trouble with over the last 3 to 5 years. By especially, you know, I think the rumblings really happen with the Uncharted games, where it's like, yeah, look at this kind of swarthy gentleman guy trying to save the day and, you know, get with a lady and find the lost treasure of something, and then you go into a level and you're just mowing down 300 dudes, and then he comes back and makes a cute quip in a cutscene. You know, like, I think for a lot of people that's becoming a lot harder to swallow.
Yeah.
It's not the Days of Doom where it's like, you're the last human left on Mars, everyone's dead, brat, brat, brat. You know,
Yeah,
like,
survive.
Find the red key. You know, I don't know. But what games disappointed you last year and did you roll through or put them down? I feel like last year had very few disappointments for me. One of my bigger ones, and it was purely technical, was GTA 5. I'm not gonna finish that game until they put it out on something that has a smoother frame rate. I can't have my brain blow up with that game anymore. So please put it on PC, because I'd love to finish that game, because that game was good. Other than that, I'm trying to think of games that I just kind of... that I actively disliked. I think most of my games were, oh, I'm playing this and it's really good. Oh, look at this new thing that came out. Oh, I'll get back to that, and I never do.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, Dishonored is way up there on that list for me. I tried 3 times to play that game, and I just couldn't. I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Actually, my girlfriend brings up a good point. Knack. That's kind of at the top of the list, where it's a not great game that's overstayed its welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with him with BioShock Infinite a lot. I wanted more to explore that world than just shoot dudes. And it felt like at some point I was so distracted by shooting dudes that I was missing stuff.
Ooh, perfect game for me that I actively hated was Forza 5. It's a really great game that just got destroyed by that Drivatar system. And just, I'm playing a single player... I'm basically playing an online racing game by myself. And you get the worst features of the online racing by yourself. So I've been meaning to go back to it to see if they've patched it and they've fixed Drivatar, but if I'm taking the first turn and just getting murdered by 20 other cars because that's all my friends are doing, that's not something that I want to play ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, The Amazing Spider-Man, I really wanted to play that game. I just kind of got in the same loop. A whole bunch of other stuff came out that I wanted to play, and it's kind of got lost in the shuffle. Like Ninja Gaiden 3 was just missing whatever it was that makes Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like I don't really remember being too disappointed or
it was a
disgustingly disappointed.
Yeah, it's not one of those games where you pop it in and it's Guilty Gear Asuka and you're just like, all of this is wrong.
You know, I just put that game out of my mind for a while.
His question number 2 here is, so I got to listen to the WGA Awards, exciting I know, at which The Last of Us won an award for Best Video Game Script. The Last of Us had some well-written characters, but I felt came across as predictable and unwilling to take risks. As soon as the game starts, the 2 main characters are introduced. I knew what was going to happen. I've seen this story before. Every spot in the story that could have changed the plot in a natural way was just passed by. At the story's end, it feels like the writers realize they've written themselves in a corner and their solution just came off as a little cheap, not entirely earned. To ask a question, what do you think is the best game for story you have played? Good question.
Tomb Raider.
My girlfriend says Tomb Raider, and that's... I actually... that's a good one that I had forgotten about. Because I feel like that... that fixes Lara Croft as a character.
I think Lords of Shadow did it for me. The whole narration, the way they presented that story to you, was just it felt epic, and it felt like
a journey.
You felt the actual character's struggle through the entire thing, and not only was it not just being read to you by Robert Carlyle, you had Patrick Stewart giving you a third-person perspective of what he's seeing your character go through.
Yeah.
I felt that game never beat the dead horse with the story either.
I would say, and this maybe only gets like half a vote here, is the first season of The Walking Dead. It's a really good story, and I think it's really impactful, but I don't think it necessarily gets 100% of a pass because it is...
I think it's more of an experience than a story.
Yeah, and it's a very... As much as you have decisions, at the end of the story, they don't really matter. Yeah. It's a fantastic tale, but I don't...
Yeah,
it's not...
It's more about... Go, sorry.
Oh, it's not really based on your decisions, which is fine, because it's there's the core of the story that you're putting your fingerprints on top of, which is fine by me. But I know a lot of people would take umbrage with a vote for Walking Dead.
No, I agree with you. I think it's more of how you feel with the decisions you made. Like it wasn't about. I mean, the story was linear in a point to where you're pretty much a passenger in the little girl's life the whole way through. But it's how you come to grips with your own decisions as you're dying.
Yeah.
More of that's really not a story. That's your own experience through that game.
Yeah. Trying to think of anything else. Man.
Was Half-Life was or not Half-Life? I mean, was Tomb Raider's story that good?
I think for me, I thought it was really good for two reasons. I think one, it fleshed out a really solid origin story for Lara as a character, and then I think it told a really interesting supernatural tale on this island that was solely contained in this game, instead of saying like a wink and a nod, I'll see you in Tomb Raider 2, which of course is probably going to happen, but we'll have like another mystery at that point. And I like that they made her a believable character instead of just, I'm rich, let's go, I like archaeological stuff, let's go to a tomb. You know, it was a lot more interesting. I think it was a lot more interesting than it had any right to be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm trying to think of anything in the last couple of years that's been really, really outstandingly. Oh, here we go. Tales of Vesperia. Minor spoilers for anyone that hasn't played it. But finding that your main character, there's a like that crazy twist sort of halfway through where you find that your main character, who's a really likable guy, is actually really kind of a really bad dude. And where like in the middle of the night just kind of murders that dude because he's bad. I really kind of liked that. And I liked that it took this seemingly lighthearted JRPG and just kind of flipped it on its head at that point. It's like, well, what are you going to do now? Now you know this horrible secret. How's this going to go?
Yeah, it did add a very, very good edge to that character.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needed it too because he was so saccharine and sweet that whole way going up.
Yeah. And it's just like, wait, what? Just what happened? What? Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had my whole collection here. Otherwise, I'd try and look. And I think I'd like to. I really would love to give a vote to Bayonetta, but I feel like it whiffed just a little bit. It was trying to tell a really interesting story that I think told a little bit better could have been really impactful and really personal, surprisingly for that game.
Oh, I should share.
Yeah, but I feel like it wanted to be too crazy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So. All right,
I don't know. I feel. I was going to say the same thing with Asura's Wrath. I thought. I mean, that DLC. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Just took that crazy game to a whole nother level, and through the entire process of that game, you felt terrible for Asura the entire time.
Yeah. Just a dude getting boned at every turn.
Even especially by the people that he called friends and family. Like it just got
just a knife to the heart. Time. Man. All right, his third paragraph here.
Paragraph.
Yeah, that's just the first two paragraphs. So many games these days have large set pieces, but how many have really great small moments? What's your favorite small moment? Mine is in the second episode of The Walking Dead, when Lee and one of the farm brothers are about to go looking for the Raiders camp. As they're walking out of the gate, Clementine comes up and tells Lee to be one of the lucky ones. That line is gold, and that was the moment I fell in love with The Walking Dead. Despite my nativity, it was a great year for gaming, I'd say. Love the show, keep up the good work. I would actually say I think there were a couple here and there in The Walking Dead, but I think for me it's the thing that I really enjoyed about The Wolf Among Us episode 1, the bar scene at the end, where it's just this moment of the main character being in a place that nobody wants him to be at. No one's gonna look him in the eyes, and it's just this heavy, really noir sort of thing, where no one's gonna tell him to leave, but no one's gonna tell him to stay. And I really liked the feeling of that, because it's not this big video game set piece where buildings are blowing up. It's something that anybody has been in, and you know exactly what that room feels like, because you've had at least one of those moments in your life.
Well, moments every day. No, oh man. As far as games this year, like nothing's really popping out at me as far as little moments. Like I think games like Gears 3 are just full of those little moments.
Mm-hmm.
When they're using the tickers to blow up the Kraken or whatever that thing's called, they're just
but
I love it.
That's sort of the opposite of the point that he's trying to make, though, because that to me is a large set piece. I think he's talking about like small, intimate moments between two, like a group of characters.
No, I'm not talking about the actual event that happened, but like the conversation on top of that bridge where they're having her, like, well, what do we do? What do we do?
Yeah.
And Bear just like, wait, these things are full. Oh, we just knock these over the side.
Yeah.
like I love those situations where they make the best out of a bad situation, or just when they kind of break that wall a little bit. Like Deadpool was full of those breaking third wall moments where it was just like, all right,
yeah,
like just stuff like that just makes it like I just really get those enjoyment when it actually feels like the people creating the experience are having fun with it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other moment like that. I can't. I'm struggling. Video games as of late haven't been very good at that in general, and it's all about the big set pieces instead of the interpersonal smaller stuff. So
it seems like they're all taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. All right, that's all of our emails and tweets. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Email us tvgpfans@gmail.com. And tweet us at TVGP.
And don't forget to join the forums. Mark yourselves on the map. Really enjoyed looking at that map because it is a lot of fun to see where everybody is. Also, Monday Night Game Night, 10 p.m. EST, Left 4 Dead 2. That is on the 360. Join us for Steam Game Night, 10 p.m. EST. And I believe the Game Club game this week is what, Secret of Mana?
Yep. So this month will be...
So this month from the
started.
17th?
Yep, so go play an old Squaresoft game that everybody loves and I've unfortunately never played, so maybe this will be my first time.
Maybe.
And don't forget you can watch this show live, twitch.tv/E1M1 Network, and we'll see you all next week.
Laters.
I only have like 3 titles. Hopefully chat can help us here a little bit. I have St. Valentine's Day Zombies. Literally tank controls, and Die Hard Tanksters.
Die Hard Tanksters. That's a good one.
I'm gonna circle that one as a lead here. I haven't seen anyone really post anything in chat because Twitch chat as usual is baroque.
Yeah, like I'm getting
nothing. Basically.
No consistency.
Well, let's pick Die Hard Tanksters then.
All right,
starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 330 for February 17th, 2014. Die Hard Tanksters.
You can't shoot downhill, right?
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We will see you all next week. Bye.